Shalom, brothers and sisters.
Thy name. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come.
Shalom, shalom.
Thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. Abba Noah, Shabbat Shemaya, Kodash Haya Shemcha Ahaya, Malakwaka Taba'a, Ratazawanka Haya Aisha, Ba'arataza Kawa, Haya Bashemaya, the thunder Noah, Lacham Kau Yawam, Wasalak Noah, Kawat Waf Noah, Hasalak Noah, Kawat Waf Yanawa Wala'a, Abayak Noah, Anasaya one above, Awashai Noah, Manrai Kayalaka, Kamalakwa Waha Allah, Ahathapa Arak, La Iwalamyam, Man. Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen. 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 Amen.
All praises be to the Most High. Ahaya Bahashim Yeshaya Wabarak. I'm Elder Rikar Shiar along with Elder Yarak and Elder Lawyer. What a wonderful prayer. Will be joining us shortly. Okay, so he'll be here in a couple of moments. In a couple of minutes, Elder Lawyer will be in our presence on this Sabbath, and he'll join in at that time. I would like to say blessings and thank you all, you brothers and sisters who are currently in attendance, who faithfully wait for us to come on to share the word of the Almighty, the word of the Most High, the word directly through Christ to the God of Israel. We humbly thank you for sharing your Sabbaths with us. Who are we? We are the gathering of Christ Church. Okay? Now, you all know the routine. Help us out because we're under a shadow ban. I just want to make a few announcements before jumping right into the lesson. The fall of idolatry. Okay. Now, we still have the page there at A Gathering 144, which is our key focal place for YouTube. A Gathering 144. So whenever you get a chance, if you haven't done so already, make sure when you get the time, type in A Gathering 144 channel. Go to our main channel because we're a guest here. A Gathering 144, hit the subscribe button, and then after hitting the subscribe, you cannot stop there. You must click now on the bell, and under the bell you must click for I think it says allow notifications. Yes, allow notifications. This way, once that page is up, ready, clean bill of health, at that time you'll be able to do what? Get the notifications in this time. You don't want to miss the notifications we'll be having, not just through this channel, but A Gathering 144 also. And if you haven't done it already, do the same for this channel, the GOCC NYC. Hit subscribe, the bell, and say, I want to receive all notifications. Folks, today we're under some serious attacks. We're being deceived as a people, not just our people. Everyone on the earth is being deceived right now through subtlety, a subtle misdirection, straight lies and deception against the people, knowing that the power structure time will soon end. We're being inundated with lies and misdirection. Okay, lawyer's here. I'm going to bring him in a second. You're being inundated. We've been inundated with lies and have been redirected and misdirected. Okay? From the true narrative of what's really going on in the earth. While they're dealing with this fake campaign that they're putting out there all over the earth to scare the ignorant of our population. Not just the ignorant, the impressionable, the gullible, and the trusting of our population. While they directing us and misdirecting us with all this crap, mass and all this other stuff they're putting out there, what isn't getting reported? What aren't they reporting? There's a war impending. Okay, there's a war impending. That's what's really going on. Okay, the Western world led by Rome, using America as its proxy, went through all those wars in the Middle East, taking down Libya, different parts of Saudi Arabia, Afghanistan, changing regimes all over the Middle East. And you know what? They were getting public pushback right out from within the United States. Weapons of mass destruction and all these different lies since September 2001. All these different propagandized lies to do what? To bring the earth under a new world order controlled by Satanists, wicked evildoers. And when people no longer were subjected to the lies and seeing that this was right out injustice against innocent people, they could no longer sell the narrative that of freedom and democracy and claiming there was a civil war in a certain country to get them under the beast. So since they ran out of that collateral with no PR behind it, they had to come up with a very convenient distraction before destroying, hey, that Palestinian war is going to be crazy. And the majority of us are not even going to be looking at it. We're going to be running around, not being able to breathe, simple out of our minds, distracted from what's really going on prophetically, and not blaming the people who are behind this while killing innocent people. That's how dumb they think you are. That's how dumb they think we are. If they can just put a talking head reading a teleprompter, that people will believe the delusion. War is impending. It seems like over in the Middle East, ain't no one is dealing with this campaign of being so afraid they'll give up their liberties and freedoms. Over there, how can you be in fear of a disease when all the news on the outside of the country is people going into other countries without masks, bombing the people? Why aren't they afraid of the disease there? Bombing people. Wouldn't you be afraid that the disease may spread all around and all this stuff, or whatever the case is, invading, going in, destroying countries, Palestinians and others who don't have the technology and some of the ingenuity when it comes to science compared to the Western world? Aren't you afraid to go into these third world countries that don't have our high science in fear that you might catch the cold? Folks, it's all a lie. What we can look for and what we're being prepared for and what people are being prepared for in this earth is the war that leads to all power going back to the EU, Rome. And let me drop this before I go into the lesson. America has never been independent, separated from Rome. That was a facade to make us believe that we would be the bastion of freedom and liberty throughout the earth, without outside influence, without the influence of the monarchy. Okay? The head republic, the monarchy, the papacy. So they made us believe that we would be the bastion of freedom who would defy tyranny and governmental control outside of the country. That we would defy outside directives. Folks, that was a sham they taught us in school. Boston Tea Party and all this garbage about how we stood up against the prince and against England and gained independence. That was a lie. That was a lie, folks. We were controlled. America was controlled from Rome since its inception, and now it's getting imploded by the same Roman imperialist ideology. It was set up to be the fall guy. And it would only become the fall guy once they would get to a point where they could no longer lie to God's people here in America. When the awakening became apparent that they could not control the slaves anymore, they are now fixing to pull the plug. Now, let me make it clear. I thank the Most High for this moment. I do. Why? Because no longer can people escape through their delusions and created an alternative reality for themselves. Everyone on the earth will face Bible prophecy and will have to live through it and choose a side. That's what I thank the Most High for, because prophecy isn't subjected to anyone's personal opinions anymore. You're going to have to go through it and choose a side. That's what I love about this moment. And you very rarely hear anyone out there claiming now that the Bible is a white man's book and the Bible is tampered with, and claiming that the Bible isn't true. That's what I thank the Most High for. His word is being sought after in this earth like at no time throughout Earth's history. And those who aren't looking into the book for the answers will be destroyed. Now, you were never independent. We're not calling or operating or talking as victims anymore. What you're going to hear from this church and from our people, guess what? From this day forward, we are messengers. We are messengers. Okay? No longer victims. Listen to what I'm telling you. I prepared this lesson. I got it ready right here, folks. Because why? The pendulum of Rome, who will eventually be destroyed by the Most High, by Christ, is now swinging. That's right. The other way, against all the nations who aligned themselves with Rome as a confederacy against us. Oh, you thought Esau was just going to stop at his little brother, his baby brother Jacob. Mm-hmm. No. All you Gentiles who aligned yourself with them against us have been double-crossed. You've been double-crossed. Esau never thought that at the end game that he would share the empire, which is the earth, equally with other races of people. So what is this so-called boogeyman they're putting out there where everyone have to wear masks and all that? Folks, this is a cover to attack every race of people and to put them under the subjection of Satan. And we're talking as messengers. You Gentiles, you've been double-crossed. Mm-hmm. So you can cry about what's about to happen to the Palestinians, what's about to happen here, what's about to happen there. Guess what? You Gentiles will, at the end of this, will only have one choice. Now you've been double-crossed. It was all good when you could take advantage of our people, come into our neighborhood, set up shop, take money back to your own country, do all these things. Right? It was all sweet because you thought our people, get that. You thought our people would remain a prey for you and your children forever. Huh? That's what you thought. But when the lion stood up and began to teach this Bible, folks, a change happened in the ether. A change began to happen. And Esau was like, well, hold up now. Israel is waking up. The heavens are answering to Jacob. They're calling on Christ. They're believing on my word. I must confirm the words of my teachers and messengers on earth. And now Esau is saying, well, listen, he don't have no time anymore. It's time to speed up this new world order. And guess what? They don't have no time just to cherry pick the ghetto and places where our people live. Since Israel was scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, Esau made a campaign that could do what? Affect the four quarters of the earth. And any race that dies in the wake of them targeting Jacob is only collateral damage for them. Hence the reason why this lesson is so timely. What lesson? The fall of idolatry. Every nation was celebrating their prosperity by taking advantage of us, not just here in America, but all throughout the earth. We were the consumers. We were the people that were being families torn apart, thrown in the system. Sex trafficking, human trafficking. The majority of human trafficking happens with our people. The poor, the impoverished. And let me tell you, the Most High has begun to fight for us. Listen to me clearly. Because the Satanists that's behind this, who are in way higher positions than Bill Gates. And that's what y'all don't understand. The real power structure are unseen on purpose. Any person you have in front of you as a face are usually used as priests to bring forth the ideology and the progressive ideas and spirit of the unseen, the dark forces. They want you to look at Bill Gates. Let me tell you right now, folks, and I'm going back because I'm digressing now. This is why I'm going into the fall of the idols today. Because the other nations who've always worshiped those gods during their prosperity, while aggrandizing themselves off of us, using us as merchandise and giving their blessings to their gods, guess what? Now they're throwing their idols in the street because their prosperity has come to an end. Understand what I'm saying right here. It's been a long time they was able to celebrate and thank the gods for their riches, their generational riches. For years. But now the attack have swung their way. They were saying, well, hold up. It shouldn't be affecting us. I thought this was, we were aligned against Jacob, against the poor people who were scattered. And Esau was like, no, buddy, you got in bed already. In order for you to get blessed, taking over Jacob, you had to do what? Include yourself within their culture and live amongst them. So I can't trust you either. I don't even know if you've mixed with them. So you must die too. So when I look to starve out an area, when I look to take away financial aid in an area, understand there's no hard feelings. Okay? Because there's no fairness in war. Listen to what we're breaking down, folks. There's no fairness in war. It was okay when you were taking the shekels for destroying God's people, coming in the neighborhoods, preying on our men and women insecurities, selling here and all that, doing all that stuff to the gods like we've shown, giving our sisters brain damage, preying on their insecurities. It was all good. But let's see what happened. Give me that headphone real quick. And guess what, folks? I went into their religion. And I'm speaking of those Hindus, those East Indians, those Asians. Folks, I said it before. When they came over to America, targeting our neighborhoods, it wasn't just to bring products to sell. They brought their gods with them. Ready, Elder Lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Check it out. Here it is. The Fall of Idolatry. I'm going to go each one at a time. Let's go. Fair use.
A large number of Indians have thrown the idols of the gods they worshipped on the streets as the numbers of coronavirus infections and deaths skyrocket in the country. Indians expressed their anger at the idols that they worshipped and sacrificed themselves for, but the idols did not protect them from the coronavirus. They prayed to the idols because they believed that it could save them from the virus, but they finally discovered that they could not do anything, and hence they destroyed it. The number of daily coronavirus deaths in India has been reaching a record number of 3,780, as the total number of infections exceeded 20 million. India's underfunded health system has struggled to cope with the recent wave of COVID, with patients dying in hospital parking lots from lack of oxygen and beds.
Damn. See that out there? They topple that thing over quick. Now, that's only one of many. Because the campaign, we all know, is a distraction. But guess what? That distraction and what I call and what we've deemed a psychological warfare against the world is being used for everything. It's being used for sanctions. What sanctions? They can't say in warfare there's sanctions. Cutting off the financial resources of a community or a country is called sanctions. Sanctions are what they placed on Iran when they claimed Iran wasn't divulging its military or nuclear capability. So what they did, they stopped trade. They stopped the banks from being able to interact, the international banks from interacting with Iran, squeezing them economically. See? So even though we know all these numbers and all this, they claim Coke 45, the disease, and all, that's just an excuse so that there's no pushback on the sanctions they have now placed on India. Now, people may be down of all types of stuff. They'll just put it under the title of the virus. See? Same thing they did here. But if you squeeze people economically, eventually what will happen when you squeeze people financially? The death toll goes up. Because finances, that's right, heals many ills. Okay, well, you can't pay the rent, you can't do this, you can't do that. Then people, what? Some people just lose their businesses and kill themselves. That's what happened in the United States, and it's happening over there. And then they'll be like, well, it happened during the time of the Coke 45, so we're going to put that number under it too. Many people are dying because they're being financially squeezed under this campaign. And it's just not in the United States, but they're reporting over here they died of the disease. When these people are pushing their idols in the street and are reporting, it has nothing to do with the disease. They're not allowed to do what? They're not allowed to exercise free enterprise amongst themselves, and they're suffering because of it. And so they're pushing their idols out there. And you know what? Everything you're witnessing is Bible prophecy. At the same time they doing that over there, Elder Lawyer, they got this priest, this Satanist, by the name of Dr. Gupta, pushing the campaign here in the United States. Okay, he's what you call a cell. He's a cell, an implant, over here making us believe that he cares for the well-being and health of Black or Americans in general. But no, I did the research on this guy and the temples he has been initiated in. Top Brahma temples of Satan, Hindu temples. These are the guys they're sending in cloaked as doctors to give us advice during this time, but really they are dark priests for Satan. He's smiling all over here, talking about the disease, and he's not even reporting on CNN what's going on with his own people who are being destroyed under this campaign. So we're not the only people who has sellouts amongst us. Okay? Dr. Gupta uncovered his roots in India. That's right. Your idols cannot save. You reap what you sow, and it's coming around full circle now because you're being called out. CNN, all these other news, guess what, folks? These are broadcast mechanisms directly from the pits of hell, hiring dark priests and evildoers to target the righteous on earth and those who believe in God and Christ. So I did some research on this guy. And that's because right now it seems as if the Hindu gods aren't helping them over in India when it comes to quote unquote Corona with a lime on top. Okay. Let's go real quick. Let's see here. Let's see real quick now. Let's go. Let me go here. And that's because this is some of the things our people get caught up in. Well, I'm into New Age and the Eastern religion. That's just an excuse to sin with a clear conscience. When they say they dealing with Asian, nah, you being freaked out, sinning, smoking everything you can, and calling yourself spiritual. Let's make it clear. You're opening gateways to Satan. So let's go straight to some of the gods that they're throwing away over in India right now. Okay, let's go. Hold on. Let's go here. Let me open this up here, give you right here. Hindu gods and goddesses, quick guide to key deities. Come on, Elder Lawyer, read that for me.
Yes, sir. As part of one of the world's oldest religions, Hindu gods and goddesses have taken many forms. While some of the Hindus practice Brahman or the Supreme Creator, Hinduism can be polytheistic, with many gods.
With what?
With many gods.
Remember that. With many gods.
And goddesses.
And goddesses. Come on.
Explore the 6 main gods and goddesses that are a part of the Trinity and Trivedi, along with other important Hindu gods and goddesses.
So this is the origin of our Trinity in the Christian church, folks. This has nothing to do with Christ, God, and the Holy Spirit. The Bible speaks nothing of a Trinity. It speaks of a Godhead. It's monotheistic in thought. Okay? It has nothing to do with three separate. It has everything to do with one God with one mission who does what? Directs the other parts. Directs the Son. Directs the Holy Spirit. But he's to be worshiped alone. So the Trinity and that concept comes from ancient Babylon. What we don't know and are not being taught here, being ignorant here, is that Brahman, shamanism, Hinduism are gateway religions to Satan, which are grounded in what? The core beliefs of Babylon. When you hear people talk about chakras, opening the third eye, that's why you have East Indians. They're talking about opening the gateway so that demons or genies or jinns or Satanists and Satanist priests can now order or open up a gateway for a jinn to come to grant wishes. It's witchcraft. Now, and guess what? I guess they're not helping under the Code 45 right now. Trinity and Trideva Hindu gods and goddesses. Brahma is the creator. Now, for those who don't know, the Brahma part of the religion is where they even acknowledge or worship Abraham as a god deity. Okay, so you will find some of the practices of what you would call Abraham a religion as his basis. You'll find that in part of their religious practices and Brahma. So some of the what you would call dietary laws, the modest apparel, all that stuff comes from the Brahmatic, or what you would call the Abraham portions of their religion. Which means, folks, it's a combination of all beliefs in one, including Abrahamic or Abraham tenets of morality. Right? Now, that in of itself let me cut this off. That in of itself might make that religion an attractive thing for our people who have no understanding at all, right? Here's an idol. They push that over. They push this one over. He out of there. Saraswati linked to Brahma. They pushed her out of there. Vishnu, the preserver, they pushed him out of there. Lakshmi, linked to Vishnu, she was pushed out of there. Shiva, the destroyer. Okay? Shiva, Brahma and Vishnu create and maintain, but Shiva protects and destroys as necessary. Now, these are the gods and goddesses that these East Indians and others pray to in the midst of our communities. To prosper themselves, they must destroy us. See? So these are the guys that when you go into their stores, they have their little temples on the side and all that. You don't have no idea what they're conjuring to oppress and keep our people coming like zombies. To financially support those who are praying against us and our God. Shiva is one of the most complex gods of the Holy Trinity. There you go, your Holy Trinity again, Christians. Given his representation as man's protector and the darker spirit's leader. Sound like Satan to me. a guardian god. Shiva resides on earth and is the destroyer of the universe. Representations of Shiva typically show him in a meditative state. Now, doesn't hold up. Now, doesn't the destroyer, doesn't he look peaceful? How many of our simple people you seen acting out like this? And Shiva, he looks a little bit on the soft side, doesn't he? See, and this is why the perverts and the Satanists and the evildoers usually choose these Eastern style religions, because it accepts perversion as something spiritual. Oh, doesn't the destroyer look peaceful? Pravati linked to Shiva. Okay. Now, on and on and on. I'm going into the Babylonian gods. I've been dealing with that in the academy. I don't got no time to be going in that today because I want to teach a Sabbath lesson. Okay? But I just want, look, here you go. There you go. There goes something nice for you. Huh? And it's our people that be picking up this garbage. I expect the Gentiles, being simple heathenistic demons, worshiping demons out of their mind, I expect the heathens to give credibility to this. But there's a problem when our people do it. Right? It's a problem when our people does it. Okay? Now, Elder Lawyer, let's not stop there. Let's go. Oh my goodness. Let's do it. All right, let's not stop there. Let's see what else we have. The what? Let's see what else going on here. Let's see what else is going on. Huh? Let's see what else is happening. 1 second here. I got something for y'all here. Oh, here we go. Something nice for y'all. Do y'all remember us reporting on this 2020?
I'm going to go to Nicole Newman now. She's actually in downtown Salt Lake City. We understand there's some damage to the Salt Lake Temple there. Nicole, can you hear us?
Fair
yes,
use.
We can hear you, Sarah. Well, you can
Fair
see the damage
use
for yourself that was caused to the temple. The trumpet on the Angel Moroni has fallen off. It actually appears that the trumpet itself has fallen to the ledge right underneath it. I'm not sure if you guys can see that there. People have been stopping by all morning to take pictures of it and just to witness it itself. A church spokesperson saying some smaller stones have also fallen off the temple. Now, there is some construction that's going on here. The church says no workers were hurt, and they have been sent home for the day, and a full assessment is underway to determine any needs going forward. In a statement, a spokesperson also says this event emphasizes why this project is so necessary to preserve this historic building and create a safer environment for all patrons and visitors.
The truth about Roni? Y'all remember last year? Tenderoni, Moroni, he lost his trumpet last year. The Most High sent an earthquake, an idol. Oh, there's more. There's more. There is more. What else we have here? What else do we have here? Fair use. Fair use. Fair use. Now, folks, a lot of what I'm breaking down really haven't been reported. It hasn't been reported. So we have to let you know what's going on in the earth, right? Look at your screen. Look at your screen. And everything we're showing you today, brothers and sisters, understand it's Bible prophecy. It's the Most High fighting for the children of Israel, destroying the idols and the ideologies and religions that have deceived our people. And at the end of the day, there'll only be one option, one space for safety. One safe space. I'm going there later. Check this out. There you go. They go Mary. She caught a L.
Corre a toda prisa buscando a la madre.
Straight witches.
Se le quitó el miedo porque el encuentro.
María Santísima!
That's beautiful right there. Get it. Get it. Hey. Let's do it. Let's do it now. Let's put this to the side. Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
Wisdom of Solomon, 14th chapter. The book of Baruch, 6th chapter. The Gentiles have tried it their way. Now look at the earth. And what the Most High is doing, he's making a proclamation to his people, saying, listen, if it's not working for them and their idols, we must choose the God we've left off from. We've tried Islam. We've tried Eastern religions, Babylonian religions. We've even tried atheist thinking, agnostic thinking, which all is just Satanism in of itself. Right? Now the Most High is leaving it where there's only one choice. We choose the God of Israel or die. Because what? The gods of the Gentiles don't save. They can't even save the Hindus in India. They can't even save their people. How is that an answer for us? What is an idol and what must we do? Breaking down that we're living in the time with the rise of Israel, it's also the fall of idolatry. That was God's first law. Why? See, the Gentiles were able to trick us, they're sorcerers, by making us believe that the belief in gods was mythological, was fiction. When no, it isn't fiction at all. The gods the Gentiles serve now has turned on them. And that was the plan the whole time. And we go into that. That's right, tracing the serpent seed. It's not mythological at all, folks. The fallen angels have been here since the beginning. So when you look at the Brahma religion, Shiva, and all these are actual fallen angels that were made into idols before the flood. Why? Because at this time, we didn't have the technology. At that time, they didn't have the technology we have presently to be controlled through the media or through the air. During ancient times, the priest needed a physical representation of the angel that he worshiped. He needed that in the presence of every home or every community that was gathered to do what? To keep the fear of their God present. See, they didn't have the technology of TV to influence. So they were using physical images of gods as idols to keep the fear of the gods in the presence of people. Hence, that's right, the beginning of idolatry. That's the origin of idolatry. People need a physical representation or a sign of the God they serve or fear. And if they kept the pagan days right and all that, that God would reward them to be able to go to the markets and celebrate festivals, parties, whatever the case is, the gods would show favor on the people if you were willing to acknowledge that God. Well, what happened when God's people begin to stand up and convert people away from the fallen gods? It does what in turn? It angers them, and they begin to fight against the same people who have always revered or honored them. Are you getting it here? So people used to say, I don't understand why people have idols. You don't understand the origin of the idols. There's a spirit behind it. And an original angel that was worshipped pre-flood. Even after the flood, they made idols to new gods. Folks, it's not mythological at all. It's not fictitious at all. They've always been here. They control the Dalai Lama. They control the Pope. The Pope is a vessel that will allow a spirit to use him. So when you see they do that 8-day smoke and it be black smoke and then white smoke will come up, that's a ritual moving a spirit from one pope to the next pope, folks. It's an old Babylonian ritual. And that ritual been in place since the Tower of Babel. So the reason idols were erected was to give people a physical representation of the fallen angel or God the priests paid homage to. You have something else on the way?
No, sir.
So let's break it down why our God said, no, we're not heathens. We're not heathens. We don't worship or pay homage to lesser gods. We pray and give homage to the God of heaven, Ahia, in the name of Yeshua, his son, through the Holy Spirit, who banished those gods to this realm we call earth. See? That's the God we worship. So since they were banished and held here until a judgment, these fallen ones wish that mankind, being the image of God, would wish that we should serve them. See? So they got it backward. The angels were made to minister to us in the name of our Father. And this is why they're angry. We wrestle not with flesh and blood. The gods they serve are angry because why? Through the Spirit of the Almighty, we are converting people back to the true God who banished their stinking behinds in the beginning. So the door is open, not just for our people, but you Gentiles whose gods now cannot save. The fall of idolatry. Let's go. Wisdom of Solomon, start at 14. We're going to break it all the way down.
Yes, sir, at the top.
Let's do it.
Wisdom of Solomon 14, verse 1.
Come on.
Again, one preparing himself to sail and about to pass through the raging waves calleth upon a piece of wood more rotten than the vessel that carrieth him. For verily desire of gain devised that, the workman built it all by his skill. But thy providence, O Father, governeth it, for thou hast made a way in the sea in a safe path in the waves.
So the Most High took a piece of wood that was almost nothing, that man could actually view as rotten, to preserve mankind, saving Noah, his wife, Noah, 3 sons, and their wives through the flood. We're speaking mainly of what? Regular substance, wood, stone, right? Mm-hmm. Elements, things that are created out of the earth, right? Wood, stone. And the Most High took that piece of wood and moved it and made it. And he told Noah exactly the schematics of it to save what? Creation for this side. That's the Most High having power over the wood. That's mankind shaping the wood. How simple it is for mankind to look at wood now and say, oh, you know what? That's God. Let me burn something and let me put a sacrifice in front of it and some money in front of it so it can grant me wishes. Right? When really the wood worked for us. We chopped the wood, we shaped the wood, we put it together and was saved through it. So who have more power? The wood or the man who shaped it? And the God who directed the man to shape it. See, we putting things back in its proper priority because if you take away the idols, you take away the presence of the gods who control the minds of people. There's no longer a physical representation. And I'm going to bring it around full circle, folks. That's why they don't care if people gather anymore. They want to shut down everything because they're not being recognized anymore. It's these Hebrews out there talking about their God and it's shutting us down. If you can't gather for us, don't gather. Because there's no representation anymore. Our God is resonating from the heavens, awakening the lion. And guess what? We are here to teach the word as the messengers to say, listen, you Gentiles, you heathens who've been worshiping those gods, you are on borrowed time. As long as you could have kept our people in some sort of delusion. But guess what? One thing that happened, and I noticed during that so-called Corona thing last year, what they didn't bank on, it gave a lot of our people time to reflect. When you stop something, all of a sudden people are like, well, hold up. The life I thought existed for me may no longer be a reality. It scared people, man. People were like, hold up now. If life is changing and without me preparing, what's in store? And if anything that came good out of that is our people said, you know what? Because we in the hustle and bustle, it made us stop and reflect and think of life differently concerning our future. I'm going in today. Let's go. Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse 3. But thy providence, O Father, governeth it, for thou hast made a way in the sea and a safe path in the waves.
Come on.
Showing that thou canst save us from all danger, yea, though a man went to the sea without art.
Look at that. That was proof that the Most High could save us through danger. It wasn't the wood we worship that saved us. It was the God who told Noah to build an ark. Right? Come on.
Verse 5. Nevertheless, thou wouldest not that the works of thy wisdom should be idle, and therefore do men commit their lives to a small piece of wood, and passing through the rough sea in a weak vessel are saved.
Look at that. Even man till his day. He'll make himself a piece of wood as a ship. They call it yacht. You can style it out all you want. But through that, you're saved through the passages of water by not drowning in them. Right? So the Most High is putting creation in its proper perspective. Taking the power from the gods. The gods are saying, well, no, make an image of me. I'll save you. Call on me. See? That's why I made sure I showed those videos of those idols falling. That was representing something. The Buddhists all together I showed a video. Chris Rock had a video called Real Hair. How these East Indians being so wicked and rotten would shave off their hair, have their daughters grow all this hair after they sacrifice to these gods. Their hair to the gods, these same fallen gods we showed you, to make it a market, a multi-billion-dollar market to target our sisters who are insecure. Through media, changing the standard of beauty, when in the 60s and 70s, our sisters was the standard of beauty anywhere. All over the place. But through marketing, made our sisters feel less than so that they can do what? Get to their neural senses. How can we get to their minds? The hair. We'll make them feel less than. We'll have all this over here and give them a new standard of beauty. And now the spirit of the gods will continually cleave to the daughters of Zion. Oh, you East Indians, you thought the Most High wasn't going to come see you on that. You were celebrating through your gods, the same gods you pushing away now, because now death has come to your country. So this is, the Most High is showing you what payback is. This COVID, Corona, whatever you want to call it, this campaign, this sanction, is the enemy coming to double cross you for you double crossing us. See, we see you. Come on, let's go.
Yes, sir. Verse number 6. For in old time also, when the proud giants perished.
When the what?
When the proud giants perished.
When the proud giants perish. See, what this is deep what's being broken down here, because this is the origin of demonology. This is where demons come from. When the giants were destroyed, because there was no place in heaven for them, not being originally made through Adam and Eve's reprocreation, the only place that these spirits could lie until judgment, they would have to float the earth for a time until judgment. Nephilim is the name. Nephilim, who became demons. They were the children of the so-called gods. We're breaking it down for you. Their children were made idols, and they were made idols, and the Most High destroyed them in the flood. Come on.
For in old time also, when the proud giants perished, the hope of the world governed by thy hand escaped in a weak vessel.
Come on.
And left to all ages a seed of generation.
A seed of generation, read.
For blessed is the wood whereby righteousness cometh. But that which is made with hands is cursed, as well it as he that made it, he because he made it, and it because being corruptible it was called God.
So the Most High is saying wood is perfect when it, in viewing it or using it for the purpose it was made.
Mm-hmm.
When it's used in its proper perspective, according to how God said deal with wood, it saves. But now he's going to show you how that same wood kills.
Mm-hmm.
That same idol kills. When now you're looking at wood outside of its original purpose by God. Come on.
Verse 9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are both alike hateful unto God. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it.
Exactly. So whoever's making idols out of wood, you shall be punished with those who made it. The image will be punished, and you will be punished too. I'm going to show these East Indians pushing that stuff out in a minute again. Because now they realize, like our God told our forefathers, idols can't save. Read.
Verse 10. For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles.
Oh, read it.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles.
Upon the idols of the Gentiles.
Shall there be a visitation.
Shall there be a visitation. So the Most High have angels, all that, go knocking that crap down. They sitting there. People don't even understand what they're doing. You don't understand the sex rituals and all that, and the demons that come in the presence of these priests at these festivals.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Folks, it's straight Moloch worship at all these festivals. And they have the goddess, a straight witch at the helm of it, Semiramis, whom now the Catholic Church try to cloak by using Mary as the cloak. When Mary has nothing to do with any of that crap they doing. The Trinity, the virgin birth, none of that stuff has anything to do with Mary in the Bible. It all goes back to the idolatry of Babylon. Let's go.
Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation, because in the creature of God they are become an abomination.
They become a what?
An abomination.
An abomination, something filthy.
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
And that become a what?
And stumbling blocks to the souls of men.
A stumbling block to the souls of men. A stumbling block. That means Here it is. You have a Gentile peddle this new religion to you, not realizing you're stumbling. You on a path to seek the Most High, the God who made it all, and someone throw a big rock in front of you, and you stumble and say, "Okay, maybe my God is over here." The idols have been a stumbling block, folks. And because it has some good qualities that originated in our way of living, you think it's right. I used to wonder, man, why is so many yoga places popping up all over the place? What do our people have to do with yoga? And then you see all these people running around with yoga pants on. I'm like, you cannot see that you are a part of a ritual, that you are a part of a ceremony? I used to wonder why it was all popping up all over the place. Now I understand. It was the East Indians in their temples, and there's temples all over the place, bringing that satanic evil to deceive and to destroy our people in America. This is what they was going to use through these gods and these worships to break the people. Using science, using the healthcare system, and using what? Psychology. And what keeps people distracted? You got it. The desire for sexual activity. Satan have always used the same devices over and over and over again as part of his rituals to bait us in. And at the end of it, what we have here, at the end of it, let me show you what we have. What's there? At the end of it, what we have, let's see here. Let me show you what we have at the end of it. Let me show you what's at the end of it, huh? Again, you have something like this at the end of it. We think, okay, it's yoga pants. It's all good. But this is what we got at the end of it. Over and over again. A demon. That's what you got at the end of it. An unseen spirit that's causing chaos. That these East Indians have let loose all in our communities. That's what you got. Succubus and all types of demons and all that. Lurking in the background. Cloaked with the facade of, oh, it's a meditation. And there's another thing out there. Oh, you know, there's certain peaceful frequencies at certain megahertz to give the body peace, and that's being disturbed. You hear all that stuff, and guess what? You see it online, frequencies to listen to and all that, to gain peace and all. I don't listen to none of that crap. Because what they don't tell you is that all spirits move on that frequency. All spirits. And the majority of the spirits that surround us in the United States, where the Bible says this place has become a habitation of devils, are evil, wicked spirits. So you talking about listening to music of certain megahertz, it's going to certain frequencies so that it can give you peace and meditation. You have to realize what you're surrounded by. It's not just the good spirits that operate on these frequencies. America is a haven for demons. So 9 times out of 10, you don't let a demon in your home listening to this crap. And I speak to people who's all about this peace and frequencies. Check them out, folks. And you have to remember how they were growing up to know that person don't exist in them anymore. Because they all have the same demeanor and they barely blink. They looking at you like this. Yeah, I'm just about all happiness and peace and frequencies. They looking at you, not even blinking. I be checking them out. Yeah, I'm about peace. And the only thing they are about is what? Perversion, wickedness. You have to check out these, you know, what I call black hippies. Okay? Let's go.
Yes, sir. Verse number 9. For the ungodly and his ungodliness are alike hateful unto God.
They are what?
Are alike hateful unto God.
Come on.
For that which is made shall be punished together with him that made it. Therefore, even upon the idols of the Gentiles shall there be a visitation.
Even upon the idols there'll be a visitation. And I showed you all that visitation earlier. Read.
Because in the creation of God, there are become an abomination and stumbling blocks to the souls of men, and a snare to the feet of the unwise.
And a snare to the feet of the unwise. As our people always having their nose open, looking for the next niche religion or ideology. And it's simple as a day's old. Oh yeah, you know, right now I'm dealing with the secret. I'm dealing with what secret? The secret is you ain't reading that Bible. No, I need the secret. That means that the passion comes around full circle. You put in and I'm waiting for it to come back. I'm like, what's it? That's why the Bible tell you about the simple. They deceive the simple. And Oprah, every time you look, she's bringing a witch or a wizard or a pervert on her show, and everybody looking at it like, yeah, straight perv. I'm looking at the dude, and he's talking about, well, the way of life, when the flowers behind him, and I'm looking right at him, and I'm like, listen, somebody need to check this dude's basement. Y'all don't know that he probably got some children tied up somewhere. Can you look at this guy? Y'all don't know what to look for. Because if someone speak nice with a little violin behind it, you think it's righteous. Oprah have a whole gambit of a circle of nothing but witches and warlocks who come in. I'm like, y'all can't see that this is Eastern demonology, that this woman is an idol worshiper? You can't see that? Finish reading. Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse 12. For the devising of idols was the beginning of spiritual fornication.
Come on.
And the invention of them the corruption of life.
Come on.
For neither were they from the beginning, neither shall they be forever. For by the vainglory of men they entered into the world.
Come on.
And therefore shall come shortly to an end.
Come on.
For a father afflicted with untimely mourning, when he have made an image of his child soon taken away, now honor him as a god, which was then a dead man.
Come on.
And delivered to those that were under him ceremonies and sacrifices. Thus in process of time an ungodly custom grown strong was kept as a law, and graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings.
And graven images were worshipped by the commandments of kings. So when they started conquering, mainly Rome, they would destroy and kill the people to re-educate the children into idolatry. Take away all of the traditions and cultures and understandings that forbade such activity. So the Romans knew what to do. We have to kill the ancient ones, all the elderly. We need to get them out of the way who will instill the true tradition, because they'll teach their children to fight against us, and re-educate them into idolaters. The highest form of control is to have someone sit in front of a piece of wood or gold and believe that they're going to gain something from it. If that's not a person that can be totally controlled, I don't know what is. And not only that, see, that's why they put those movies out there. Godfather, Goodfellas. They always have the Catholic Church in the background because you're looking at these powerful men with all types of influence and money and all that. Everything that we aspire to have, right? And then they'll go in the Catholic Church and start burning candles to idols. This guy with all this power is controlled. Confessing to a priest like a little boy. And we're looking at that and we don't see subliminally what it's saying. That the most powerful are controlled by these idols and the spirit behind them. They don't take out a whole block, a whole family, bury you in the sand. When you walk, you're the godfather. People kissing your ring. But then when they go into the church, they're humbled like a choir boy, like an altar boy. So where's the true power? Huh? It's the spirit behind those idols. It's what they're showing you subliminally. That's the real power. And see, that's why they hate the Bible, because Paul straight out says that we're not wrestling with flesh and blood. Where do the powerful get their power? Then this is what Christ and the disciples, they were pulling the veil back and showing you where the powerful get their power. See? Come on, let's go. Let's do it. Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. Whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from far.
They took a fake image. We know that's Cesar Borgia. But folks, even before Cesar Borgia, they used to do this.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
The idols of different people, Nimrod, Semiramis. That's why even before the Renaissance, you had what we call what? The old Russian icons showing dark images. Now, a lot of us would like to go into that and show where the original images were black and think that's some phenomenon. But what we're not saying is that was wicked too. Mm-hmm. Just because it's black doesn't make it right. Semiramis and Nimrod were black. And their images were made, paintings, statues, and all that to be worshipped. So when people go into the icons, yes, it's an icebreaker. It's a tool to be used to show that the white man lied about Christ being black. But we have to realize those images weren't made to disprove the white man as Christ.
Right.
Those images were made as idols. Mm-hmm. I don't care what color they are. They're idols. See? So I know black, because I used to pull out the icons. Yeah, black, 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 black. See, black, black. Yeah, they're trying to hide this. Esau ain't trying to hide that. He's like, yeah, I'll give you all that too. Because at the end of the day, whether it's black or white, the God you will serve under any of those images is the God who have empowered me to destroy you. Now check that out. So when I see people just stuck on icons and not on the epistles and the gospels of Christ, that's a certain form of arrested development.
That's right.
You receive the truth and you're stuck on color. When the real truth comes from the Bible itself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Come on.
Verse number 17, whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off, they took the counterfeit of his visage from far and made an express image of a king whom they honored.
Come on.
To the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present. Also the singular diligence.
It says flatter him that was absent as if they were present. Mm-hmm. And folks, a lot of you believe it's just talking about a king. When we break this down, we usually keep it on the lower levels. We keep it on the levels of the kings that we can actually go into in history, like Rodrigo Borgia of our present time. But folks, when the fallen ones came to this earth, they were being presented as kings, princes, and judges over the people. Okay? So when you look at it, understand the scriptures are manifold, this is talking about what? It even talks about the shepherds, the 70 shepherds in the book of Enoch, which are fallen ones who are actually angels ruling at different times of the earth, in the earth, like the king of Tyrus that we read of, the prince of Tyrus in the book of Ezekiel. These are not men. So when you're breaking it down from a higher understanding, it's telling us what? The origin of idolatry. Read that part again, Elder Lawyer.
That's right. Verse number 17, whom men could not honor in presence because they dwelt far off. They took the counterfeit of his visage from far.
From far.
And made an express image of a king whom they honored.
Whom they honored.
To the end that by this their forwardness they might flatter him that was absent as if he were present.
Flatter him who was absent as if he was present. You see it, right?
Mm-hmm. And it goes exactly to what you were stating earlier, where because they didn't have mass media to broadcast it to the earth at once, they had to have these representations everywhere.
Exactly.
So now they would have that fear of something that was so far off, but it seemed near because they had the image right before them.
Exactly. It was what they were using as the highest technology at that time to influence a mass of people. See? That's what they needed. Right? They had the pictures. They had this. They had that. And then in connection with that, we always, as a people, remembered how it was introduced. Through the sword. You either worship, follow, or die. So those two were always synonymous. To put the fear of the gods in people. So it's deeper than just breaking down, oh yeah, the white man, that's Cesar Borgia. That's just the first level. Okay, this is straight, you talking about straight psychology on the highest level to make it a tradition so that our women, our men, our children would uphold and defend the psychosis throughout all of generation. See? Throughout many generations, they would make us defend the psychosis of idolatry to the point where it's no longer a physical idol. It's in here. It's in here. And the Most High talked about that. Once it's in here, now the idol or the spirit has entered. It's no longer a physical representation no more. You have become the idol.
That's right.
And I'm going there because this is what the Most High warned us about. Come on, let's go.
Verse 18. And the singular diligence of the artificer did help to set forward the ignorant to more superstition.
And it set the ignorant towards more superstition. It moved us further away from the simplicity of our God, the God of Israel. See, there's no confusion when you just follow the God of Israel. It's simple, practical. So there's no confusion. See, this is why the Most High is like, here's the do's, here's the don'ts. See how there's no confusion in that? So the further away we went into idolatry, the more confused the earth became. See? The more we moved into idolatry away from the Most High, the more now everything got to be broken down now. When the Bible is simple and practical. When someone asks a question, can I do this? The answer is no. Why? Because that's sin. When someone is asking me, can I do something? And I say, well, no, because if I did that, that action would be sin because the law doesn't say handle it that way. The law says handle it this way. See? So there's no confusion of middle ground. Usually when people are looking at middle ground, they're looking to sin. They want an excuse outside of the black and white. See? And see, that's what Christian churches, Muslim mosques, and all these, these certain temples, these Indian temples, these Brahma temples, this is why people choose these alternative temples. Because they excuse the sin. They'll allow you to sin against the law of God and still feel moral. See? Still feel as if you're a good person. See? But the Bible is clear. It's straight do's or don'ts. And then, guess what? If it doesn't say it in the Bible, then the Bible teaches us what? Where there is no law, there is no transgression. See? Because everything isn't written in the law. But then you have a law of the conscience. Okay? That's a whole nother law where, hey, if you do something that's lawful, but it's causing sin, that's sin. And I'm going to be going into that too. You see it, right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So we're going into that too, because there is places where there is no law, but that's why through Christ we receive the law of the conscience. And that tells us, okay, well, too much this, too much that. All right, lay back there, because all things are lawful, but all things aren't expedient.
That's right. That's right.
Right? So come on, let's go.
Verse number 19.
Yeah.
For he peradventure, willing to please one in authority, forced all his skill to make the resemblance of the best fashion.
Come on.
And so the multitude, allured by the grace of the work, took him now for a god, which a little before was but honored as a man.
Come on.
And this was an occasion to deceive the world.
And this was an occasion to deceive the whole world. Now the earth have been totally re-educated into now acknowledging a man on the level as God. See? That was an occasion to deceive the whole world. See? Showing a picture of this poisoner called Cesar Borgia and saying, well, you know Christ is God right now. You know that's God you're looking at. Now we have minimized the power of God into a mere man. Idolatry. To a point where now people are walking around, you know what I mean? People are walking around, don't even have two nickels to rub together talking about they gods. That's where this thing has gone to. They come around talking about, yeah, I'm a God, man. I'm a God. 5% God. Listen, dude. And then when you go in your pocket, guess what? You scratching your leg. Don't have nothing but claiming to be God. And if you had something, you're still not a God. But that's where this thing has gone to. We started worshiping a man as God to a degree. We in the hood totally distraught and destroyed, looking at each other. I'm like, yeah, what's up, God? Hey, God, what's up, God? And Esau's looking at you like, yeah, okay, God, okay, yeah. Let me look at your application here. God just filled out an application. Okay, all right. I think you missed your signature here, God. Yeah, make sure you fill out your IRS papers and your tax papers. Or hey God, you missed something. Okay, last time. You have any references, God? You have any references? Yeah. I'll call you Tuesday. Okay, and be on time. Okay, God. and then God says, "Thank you, boss. Appreciate it, boss. I'm coming right back. I'll be here." See what happens? All this God stuff and he the God, that's the God. Nah. And if you God, who's the guy signing your paycheck?
Right.
I wish I would call some simpleton out here God. Let's finish. You'd have made of yourself an idol. Let's go. Come on.
And this was an occasion to deceive the world, for men either serving calamity or tyranny did ascribe unto stones and stocks the incommunicable name. Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God.
So not only was that enough for them, they began to err in what?
In the knowledge of God.
In the knowledge of God. Now, if you now have relegated yourself to a God, everything is according to your interpretation now. Right? You are now a God. Now you can interpret or give the understanding of something. And that's absolute because what? It's coming from God. You see how whacked out this becomes? And how confusing this is? Come on. And usually when people are talking about the God thing, it's because they initially get that revelation high. They're usually on some substance. And I'm not talking about something I don't know about. I grew up in the darkest parts of North Philadelphia, 15th and Diamond. And I see how cats come to what you would call a spiritual level to where they feel they are above everyone else. And usually these cats get high. High as a kite. Okay? High as a kite. Or they may have picked it up in jail. Getting high there first. A God entered. A spirit entered. See? Come on, let's go.
Moreover, this was not enough for them.
It wasn't enough for them, but what?
That they erred in the knowledge of God.
And guess what? Hey, check this out. Last night, a brother called me from Chicago, Elder Lawyer. This had to have been about 11 something at night. I was so glad to hear from our brother. How you doing, Ottawa? Good to hear from him. Talk to you Monday. He called me and said, Elder, excuse me, Elder, there's someone on the line who's on this vegan stuff, talking about the vegan thing and all that. You think you can come in and give some understanding? Because I'm like, was he a part of the church? Was he baptized? He says he used to follow the church, yeah. Right? I'm like, yeah, pull me in. That's fine. He pulls me in and he says, brother, I have Elder Ricard Shiar on the line. Now, this brother have access to my private number because he's someone I've known since the beginning of this Gathering of Christ Church. This brother, I care for this brother. I pray for him. Chicago. He pulls me in and guess what, folks? I didn't even have to say shalom. Now, I know that before I got on the phone, this brother was bringing all this information of how this church isn't teaching the right thing, vegan and all that. And I didn't say anything. He just said, "Oh, Ottawa, brother, man, you can't do that. You should have told me you was gonna bring somebody in, man. I can't do this, man. I can't do this. Yeah, man, I'm out. I can't do this. I can't talk about this." And Ottawa was like, you had all the information a couple of minutes ago. He's here. He said, "No, I'm out. I'm out." And hung up the phone. And you know why? Because it tell you in John the 3rd chapter. Let's get it real quick. I'm going to tell you why. And this is how these cats slither around to be a stumbling block to try to deceive others. But when they're faced with the truth, they run. Because 9 times out of 10, I've never met a person in this truth that wasn't pushing veganism, that wasn't getting high. Okay? Straight up. At the end of the day, These are cats who are Israelites who like to get high, and now they're trying to use the law in the Bible to justify their wickedness. See, I can get right to the base of it. Nah, brother, you want to get high. That's what you want to do. It have nothing to do with whether or not I'm eating meat or you eating veggies. Right? See, they know I go straight for the jugular with that. Because I know their true intentions isn't the laws of God and to bring people under what? The covenant and spirit of Christ. Their true intentions is to ask whether or not you got 5 on it. Okay. They're looking for a get high buddy. Let's read it real quick.
St. John 3:18, he that believeth on him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already.
Read.
Because he have not believed in the name of the only begotten Son of God. And this is the condemnation.
Here's the condemnation.
That light is come into the world.
That light come to the world. So when he clicked me over, the light was turned on. Right? Because cats like to scurry in the dark. Oh yeah, the elders ain't teaching that. Oh yeah, man. And then they'll try to lie too. Oh yeah, I spoke to the elder, man. Listen, I ripped them a new one. Finish reading.
Light is come into the world.
Light has come into the world.
And men love darkness rather than light.
Men love darkness rather than light. So when the light come on, they scurry like roaches. But they'll have all these scriptures break down. They'll send it online, send it through comments. And then, believe it or not, they'll be, outright slandering and all that. Targeting people who's following the church, knowing their true issue is not it's with us, even though we did nothing to them. Because there's a spirit in them. But instead of confronting that, they use subtlety. Like the serpent. They'll try to find someone who they think are weak. Read.
Men love darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil.
Because their deeds were evil. Read.
For everyone that doeth evil hateth the light.
Hateth the light.
Neither cometh to the light.
Neither cometh to the light.
Lest his deeds should be reproved.
Or you will be corrected. Read.
But he that doeth truth cometh to the light.
If you know the doctrine that you're teaching is correct, you would just bring it forth. You would come to the light, and it doesn't matter who's on the phone. Truth prevails over lies, right? Read.
That his deeds may be made manifest that they are wrought in God.
If your deeds are wrought with God and can be justified through the scriptures, you wouldn't run. But see, you were on the phone with somebody who needed to call me. So what I would have done was I would go on with it. Let's go through the scriptures you claim that make it where we're not supposed to eat meat and just deal with veggies. Because I'm gonna deal with the root of why you're trying to justify veggies. You want to get high. So I go straight to it. I don't mess around. Brother, do you smoke marijuana? Because the herbs where the Most High gave us for meat is where you would like to go to say the herbs is cannabis. Mm-hmm. And all you vegan guys who have crept your way from the conscious community and have converted to Israelites still want to get high. But then when you go to the herbs for meat, guess what? It's fine. I can take you where the Most High sacrificed to cover Adam and Eve, clean animals. Therefore, there was a law of a clean sacrifice with Abel. When Cain, the wicked one, tried to bring veggies as a sacrifice and wasn't accepted. The same Adam that he gave for meat, veggies, he didn't accept veggies by Cain. And it was through Cain who wanted the Most High to accept his sacrifice, defied the Most High, and killed his own brother over vegetables. You want to go there with me? And was turned over to Satanism and heathenism. And this is why pagans today sacrifice what? They sacrifice fruits and veggies to the gods and goddesses. I went to a Dune Day. Every year I used to go there. You know, it was a black thing in Philadelphia. And they got these women, these witches, near the Delaware River and the Schuylkill River, taking and floating vegetables down the waters, the streams, to the goddess, to the Orishas. So I don't even have to go all the way through the Bible with you. Tell me why the Most High didn't accept veggies by Cain, through Cain. And why did he only accepted a sacrifice of meat through Abel? So you don't want to deal with that, because why? When you get upset, you get in that spirit of Cain. Because Cain Cain also told the first lie and was the first murderer. See, and this is why these guys scurry off. Because I get to the root of it. Now let's go. Go back.
Yes, sir. Wisdom of Solomon 14 and verse number 22.
Yeah.
Moreover, this was not enough for them, that they erred in the knowledge of God, but whereas they lived in great war, or in the great war of ignorance, those so great plagues called they peace.
Come on.
For whilst they slew their children in sacrifices, and used secret ceremonies, or made...
So this is what's attached to idolatry. Sacrifices and secret ceremonies. Read.
Or made revelings of strange rites, they kept neither lives nor marriages any longer undefiled.
So eventually, idolatry lead to the separations of family. Like we're seeing today. Read.
But either one slew another traitorously, or grieved him by adultery, so that there reigned in all men without exception blood, manslaughter, theft, and dissimulation.
Read.
Corruption, unfaithfulness, tumults, perjury.
Sound like the Catholic Church to me.
Disquietings of good men, forgetfulness of good turns, defiling of souls, changing of kind, disorder in marriages, adultery, and shameless uncleanness.
All through religion, folks. This isn't through some secular ideologies or just by chance. All of what it's saying right here through idolatry comes the society we're witnessing right now. It's a religious purposeful agenda and ideology to destroy man, family. See? Finish reading.
Verse 27, for the worshiping of idols not to be named is the beginning, the cause, and the end of all evil.
There you go. It's the beginning and cause and end of all evil. Because what went on before the flood? All type of perverseness. You had hermaphrodites, people that were born through these freakish marriages and all that before the flood, with both sex organs. Okay, all of that was happening. Hermaphrodites and all that, where it was sexual activity and all that that was just perverse to the Almighty. So in order for them to push that on this side, they would have to do it through their religious institutions. Because why? Think about it, folks. Who would continue these evil practices in the earth from generation to generation? What type of people would be initiated as altar boys and all these things and grow up to be priests of the Catholic Church? Well, what happens is the priest takes the young boys' youth through intercourse. That's part of the rituals. And he grow up perverted, mad at the world and all these things and thinking it's first confused, but then what? He's an organized weapon to be used by Satan now. Now that his mind has been messed up as a child. And guess what? it becomes a generational curse. And he feels that now he becomes that he's become of age. He's a cardinal. He's a priest, whatever the case is. In order for him to get back his innocence he lost, he must continue that cycle by taking the altar boy and saying, okay, come and bring some of your candles back here. And it goes on and on and on and on. You mess up these children from an early age religiously, and now what? They grow up resentful. They grow up mad at their parents, mad at the world, and now can be used as a priest for Satan to further the agendas. That's what this was talking about. Broke people being put in priestly positions to run things would totally destroy family. Let's go. Come on.
Yes, sir. Verse 28, for either they are mad when they be merry, or prophesy lies, or live unjustly, or else lightly forswear themselves, insomuch as their trust is in idols, which have no life. Though they swear falsely, yet they look not to be hurt. Howbeit for both causes they shall be justly punished, both because they thought not well of God, giving heed unto idols, and also unjustly swore in deceit, despising holiness.
Come on.
Last verse, 31. For it is not the power of them whom by they swear, but it is the just vengeance of sinners that punisheth always the offense of the ungodly.
Of the ungodly. When you read that all the way through on idolatry, it's deep, folks. That's why I thank the Most High for his commandments, his laws, and the simplicity of this Bible. I'm going to tell you right now. Part 2 of idolatry, the fall of the idolatry, coming up. Hold tight. One moment. The Bible. One moment, be right back. The Bible. Is it hard to understand?
When it comes to reading the Bible, the first thing that comes to mind is the fact that this is the Word of God.
The seals have been broken, and the truth is here.
And when we go throughout the scriptures, when we go throughout extra biblical records, we find that the language that God employed, that he used to create the heavens and the earth, was the Hebrew language.
Christ said, I came for the lost sheep of the house of Israel. But yet no one, no religious leader, no religious church out there anywhere can now identify the 12 tribes of Israel. Can we? God is quite simple, but it seems as if man makes understanding him hard.
What are those mysteries?
The truth of your book and the truth will make you free. The Hebrew and Bible Academy. You're invited. Okay, coming in, part 2. Part 2, brothers and sisters, the fall of idolatry. The fall of idolatry, coming right up. Just had to take a quick break, but I'm jumping right back in here. Yeah. Let's do it. All right.
A large number.
Yeah, let me show you what's going on here. Oh yeah, what's happening here? For those who missed it earlier. One more again.
A large number of Indians have thrown the idols of the gods they worshipped on the streets as the numbers of coronavirus infections and deaths skyrocket in the country. Indians expressed their anger at the idols that they worshipped and sacrificed themselves for, but the idols did not protect them from the coronavirus. They prayed to the idols because they believed that it could save them from the virus, but they finally discovered that they could not do anything, and hence they destroyed it. The number of daily coronavirus deaths in India has been reaching a record number of 3,780, as the total number of infections exceeded 20 million.
Now, brothers, if the narrative was true, how they're trying to spin this, let's see if there's anyone here throwing away their idols with masks on, real quick, including this guy.
A large number of Indians have thrown the idols of the gods they worshipped on the streets as the numbers of coronavirus infections and deaths skyrocket in the country. Indians expressed their anger at the idols that they worshipped and sacrificed themselves for, but the idols did not protect them from the coronavirus. They prayed to the idols because they believed that it could save them from the virus, but they finally discovered that they could not do anything, and hence they destroyed it. The number of daily coronavirus deaths in India has been reaching a record number of 3,780, as the total number of infections exceeded 20 million. India's underfunded health system has struggled to cope with the recent wave of COVID, with patients dying in hospital parking lots from lack of oxygen.
And where my yoga pants at? Sheila Waves News. See, they'll make you believe it has something to do with this virus, but man, they're putting sanctions on that country because it was one of the countries that originally fought back when a whole village was inoculated and came down with some this polio, whatever that was. And they spoke out years ago, even before this stuff ever came out. So parts of India is under sanctions now, and their finances are getting squeezed. That's what's going on. And these people are suffering under this campaign because they're used to being able to ship things normally and do all that, cut off their hair and ship it other places and do all that. And sanctions, this have slowed up trading and the commerce of India. So that's why they pushing those idols. They had nothing to do with the narrative. They want to put this Code 45 narrative on everything, folks. But the East Indians are realizing that their gods can't save them. Let's go to Baruch 6 real quick, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir.
If they were concerned and this was about some virus, that you'd have had people with masks on pushing the idols. Not one mask. So what's really going on? Let's go to Baruch 6, Elder Lawyer. Let's go.
Yes, sir. The book of Baruch, chapter 6, verse 1.
Started this. Yeah. Go ahead. You can go ahead.
All right. Because of the sins which ye have committed before God, ye shall be led away captives into Babylon by Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Babylonians.
Because we sinned as a people, we were led into captivity. Right? Now, how is this attached to the fall of idolatry? Listen clearly. Read.
Verse 3 or verse
2.
3.
3, yeah.
So when ye be come unto Babylon, ye shall remain there many years, and for a long season, namely 7 generations, and after that I will bring you away peaceably from thence. Now when you shall see in Babylon gods of silver and gods of gold and of wood, borne upon shoulders, which cause the nations to fear, Beware therefore that ye in no wise be like to strangers, neither be ye afraid of them when ye shall see the multitude before them and behind them.
So when we see the nations upholding idols on their shoulders, the Most High would he told us, listen, don't do what they're doing. That's a sign to why I've sent you in captivity. So when you see these festivals they hold in the goddess that we showed fell and all that, and Mary and all that, when you see these festivals, that's a sign to us by the Almighty, letting the Gentiles operate, a sign to why we went into captivity. See, this is why they try to initiate us into their festivals. See? And they have us thinking it's just a festival when it's a ritual in defiance of the God of Israel. Read.
Beware therefore that ye in no wise be like the strangers, neither be ye afraid of them when ye see the multitude before them and behind them, worshiping them.
Worshiping them. Worshiping who? Fallen gods. Okay. This is what they're worshiping. Through what? Imagery. But in actuality, it's the fallen angels. Read.
But say ye in your hearts, O Lord, we must worship thee. For mine angel is with you, and I myself caring for your souls.
He says, for mine angel is with you. Right? Mm-hmm. For mine angel is with you, and I myself care for your souls. See? So the Gentiles had to put up the false fallen angels. And the Most High said, no, don't follow that. Those are the fallen ones. I have an angel that looks out for you. See? Come on.
Verse 8. As for their tongue, it is polished by the workmen, and they themselves are gilded and laid over with silver. Yet are they but false and cannot speak.
And cannot speak. Read.
In taking gold, as it were for a virgin that loveth to go gay, they make crowns for the heads of their gods.
They make crowns for the heads of their gods. I showed a video earlier where not only do they take this wood and stone of a woman and all that, they put crowns on the image as a goddess. Come on.
Sometimes also the priests convey for their gods or from their gods gold and silver and bestow it upon themselves.
Come on.
Yea, they will give thereof to the common harlots and deck them as men with garments, being gods of silver and gods of gold and wood.
So they'll deck the harlots with it. See, that's what we see at these festivals. Read.
Verse 12. Yet cannot these gods save themselves from rust and moth, though they be covered with purple raiment.
Come on.
They wipe their faces because of the dust of the temple, when there is much upon them. And he cannot put death to one that offendeth him, holdeth a scepter as though he were a judge of the country.
Then you will have the goddess that they worship or the god they worship holding a scepter, and it's dead as I don't know what, falling all over the place. But you have it holding a scepter as if it can actually decree death upon you. When you're greater than the wood, gold, or brass holding the scepter. Read.
15. He hath also in his right hand a dagger and an axe, but cannot deliver himself from war and thieves.
Come on.
Whereby they are known not to be gods.
They're known not to be gods.
Therefore fear them not.
Therefore fear them not. Idols was set up, like I mentioned earlier, to put the fear of the gods amongst people. See? That's why the Most High kept telling Israel, you don't got to fear them. This is superstition. These are stories they're using to do what? To control you. Read.
Verse 17. For like as a vessel that a man...
And it's no wonder those in the Christian churches and all that are easily controlled today. You notice that? Because these were the false gods they follow. See? It's the same powers that's over the Christian churches that are over the media till this day. So it transitions. It runs into itself. So there's no wonder these people are looking at it and say, okay, let me roll up my sleeve. Let me do this. Let me set up my churches, for these inoculations and all that. No wonder. See? Read.
For like as a vessel that a man useth is nothing worth when it is broken, so it is with their gods. When they be set up in their temple, their eyes be full of dust through the feet of them that
What
come
verse
in.
are you at there?
Verse 17.
Come on.
When they be set up in the temple, their eyes be full of dust through the feet of them that come in. Verse 18. And as the doors are made sure on every side upon him that offendeth the king, as being committed to suffer death, even so the priests make fast their temples with doors and locks and bars, lest their gods be spoiled with robbers.
Look at that. So their gods are so powerful, but you have to put locks on the door. You need security because the gods can't defend themselves. You're locking the door in fear that someone is going to steal the God you're worshiping. Oh, no. I serve a greater God. And our God doesn't require security. Locks, bolts. See? Read.
Verse 19. They light them candles, yea, more than for themselves, whereof they cannot see one.
Now, some people might ask, well, the priests know that these are just wood and stone. Why do they give any veneration or respect to these particular types of gods or goddesses when they know it's just wood and stone? It's deeper than just the wood and stone, folks. For them, they use this along with hallucinogens and drugs to open up gateways so that spirits or jinns or demons can come in their presence to give them information. Ingenuity, technology. So it benefits the priests for the outcome they're looking for, which is what? Power over the masses. See? So they gain all of this power, ingenuity, technology, and all that if they can get the masses of people to worship the gods. See? They get information. They become your high priests. They become your high professors over academia. They become your high priests over religion. Your ministers in high places as far as the political arena. See? They become your high inventors, like Steve Jobs, who was operating in black and all that, and to make you believe that he's the one that really came up with the Apple phone. Okay? When really, we have information we showed in the academy where this guy goes to India, he get butt naked and they put a sheet over him and he go into a cave. Okay? He went to India, went into a cave, and they say a god came to him and gave him the information for the phone. We broke that down in the academy. It's not even hid anymore. Steve Jobs became a high priest for the dark side. Okay? That would lead to everyone being connected together going into the mark of the beast age. Okay? Look it up. He went to India. He went to a shaman, got seriously high, and they put him in a cave overnight, and he came out with the Apple phone. Huh? Come on.
Verse 20.
Yeah.
They are as one of the beams of the temple, yet they say their hearts are gnawed upon the things creeping out of the earth. And when they eat them and their clothes, they feel it not. Their faces are black through the smoke that cometh out of the temple.
Come on.
Upon their bodies and heads sit bats, swallows, and birds, and cats also. By this ye may know that there are no gods, therefore fear them not.
The Most High told us not to fear them. These are rituals for priests, sorcerers, witches. But our God is the God of all gods, where this superstition has no power over the people who believe in him. See? Come on.
24. Notwithstanding the gold that is about them to make them beautiful, except they wipe off the rust, they will not shine.
Come on.
For neither will they were molten, did they feel it. The things wherein there is no breath are brought for a most high price. They are borne upon shoulders having no feet, whereby they declare unto men that they be nothing worth.
There be nothing worth. They're worthless. Read.
They also that serve them are ashamed. For if they do fall to the ground at any time,
There we go. We showed it earlier. If they fall to the ground any time,
they cannot rise up again of themselves. Neither if one set them upright can they move of themselves, neither if they be bowed down can they make themselves straight. But they set gifts before them as unto dead men.
unto dead men. The next time you go into one of these Chinese stores in the hood or one of these East Indian stores, specifically in the hood, I need you to now look for the idols in the corners. Open your eyes. Why are the idols there? What type of prayers are they doing to keep our people in subjection, under subjection, specifically in the hood? What type of rituals are they doing in their Brahmin temples, in their Hindu temples? See? This thing is way deeper than a lot of us think. But I'm not going to effects that has on our community. But I'm not going there today. Right? Let's go now to Isaiah 2:17, Elder Lawyer. In the Bible.
Isaiah chapter 2, verse number 17.
Yep.
And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down, and the haughtiness of men shall be made low.
Come on.
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
So in this day, guess what? All the idols are going to fall, and what?
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
Ahia, the God of the Hebrews, is being exalted, will be exalted in this day at the very end. The whole world, not just Israel, will know that our God, the God of Israel, is the God of all gods, over all gods, even those that were banished to this realm for judgment. The gods of the heathen, who could no longer help them. We're in a changing of arms right now, a changing of positions right before you. The gods they serve that have oppressed our people are being pushed into the waters by their people now. Folks, that's a sign that the Most High is freeing the children of Israel. Finish reading, come on.
Verse number 18.
We're going to read that to 21, Elder Lawyer.
Yes, sir. And the idols he shall utterly abolish, and they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the
He
caves.
says the idols he shall utterly abolish, and the people will begin to go where?
Into the holes of the rocks.
Into the holes of the rocks. We're looking at a time now where people are looking for underground shelter. We're living in the apocalypse where now people are selling underground bunkers. What's coming? Well, guess what? I don't have to fear what's coming, because what's coming is coming to save us. It's coming for us. And the only people that's looking to hide are those who have known the whole time that they were destroying and come and hurting our people. There's no need to hide if you're standing in truth. But they know what's coming isn't for their turn. So the Bible says that first we'll have a sign of their idols falling, and then you'll hear about people looking to live underground. Come on.
And they shall go into the holes of the rocks, and into the caves of the earth.
Come on.
For fear of the Lord.
For fear of the Almighty. It's deeper than it's deeper than talking about, when things, we're dealing in a time in which is the book of Eli. Yeah, all of that. Yeah, the Walking Dead. But who's to fear? These people are making a lot of these moves. Why? Because they never established a relationship spiritually with the Almighty like that. Not that we shouldn't prepare at all. There is some preparation we must do in a time, knowing the times that's coming. But all in all, to have to go into a rock and underground or wait somewhere, why? These are the people who don't trust what's coming because they don't know what's coming. We do. Messengers. Come on.
In that day, man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold.
Hold up. Hold. I got to go back to it, Elder Lawyer. I must do it. Don't make me do it. What's going to happen, Elder Lawyer?
In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats.
Read it again, Elder Lawyer.
In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they have made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats.
It says they're going to throw their idols away. Tell me this isn't prophecy, folks. Tell me this isn't prophecy. And what you don't know is that this religion of the East Indians is really the original religion of ancient Babylon. Okay? This is where the Catholic Church get their worships from. This is where Islam, through Persian mythology, this is the foundation of their religions. India was the original place that was a part of what? The Tower of Babel. And they're throwing their idols. Read that again, Elder Lawyer.
In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats.
Tell me the Bible isn't true. Oh, timber! Boom! Come on, Brahma, what's going on, Shiva? Oh, Shiva, let me go. Let me go, Shiva. Okay, Buddha, let me go. Huh? Tell me our God isn't real. Tell me this book isn't true. Huh? Finish reading, come on.
In that day, a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go into the clefts of the rocks and into the tops of the ragged rocks, for fear of the Lord.
For fear of the Lord, he's coming for us. Come on.
And for the glory of his majesty.
And for the glory of his majesty.
When he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
When he do what? Read it again.
When he ariseth to shake terribly the earth.
To shake terribly the earth. Our Christ is coming to save. He's coming for us. And because Christ said, what? Let's get it. Hold that and get Matthew 24 and 13, where it says, Matthew and 24 and 22, that if he didn't cut Satan and those fallen ones' time short, none of us would be left.
Yes, sir.
What we're witnessing right now, when they're talking about nursing homes and different areas like that, we're looking at, folks, in rendition, a killing of a large segment of the population at one time all over the earth. They've been putting it out there. Oh yeah, you want free college? Knowing that, hey, when you get this stuff, you may not make it there. We give you a free scholarship. A matter of fact, we're going to do a drawing, $1 million lottery every week for those who do it, knowing that usually lottery is with annuities, and annuities is a short payout every year. And they know that 9 out of 10 people that does this, who'll do it, won't make it to collect the annuities. Oh yeah, you want to be a part of the lottery? Yeah, $1 million, $1 million, $1 million. This is a rendition. They're pulling the plug on people, targeting the ignorant first. Dangling a carrot, knowing that at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to make it through college to collect anything. A matter of fact, they're imploding schools. They don't need schools anymore. Oh yeah, I get a full board ride to college, man. Education is everything. And here it is. You sitting there talking about education and no, not tears coming out of your eyes. You take the Jim Jones juice and guess what? Blood is coming out of your eyes. You sitting there bleeding from the cranium. Talking about, yeah, where my lottery ticket at? I'm going to tell you, folks, they're pushing this stuff. Why? Let's read it.
And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved.
It says, if Christ didn't shorten these days that Satan has to rule, that none of us would be left. They got a plan to kill all of us. Heck, Hades, if I'm going to volunteer for it, you know the plan. It says, Christ said what?
And except those days should be shortened.
Except I shorten the days Satan and his priests has to rule on this earth. Read.
There should no flesh be saved.
Not one person would be left if Christ didn't shorten the days he's given them. The power structure we see today to rule. They have a plan that if the Most High didn't intervene, every person, every man, woman, and child, regardless of race, would die. See? So you think I'm going to volunteer for it? Are you kidding me? Here's their plan right here. So what they're doing now, they're targeting the ignorant, the confused, those who don't read the Bible and understand it, to get them out of the way first. The volunteers are those who would just be in the way anyway, as far as they're concerned. See? These are the uneducated, educated. They know about everything when it comes to the cares of this world, but know nothing of God. See? Come on.
But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened.
But for the elect's sake, the elect, Isaiah 45 and 4 tell us, and 4 and 5 tell us that Israel is the elect. Because he said he must save a remnant from us, he's going to shorten the days. It's our people, folks. It's our people. We're the reason the Most High haven't destroyed this stuff already. Because he loved us. And there's a remnant that must be sealed before the coming of our Lord and Savior. But now I pointed that out just so that we can emphasize the Satanist agendas against us, the idolaters. Their plan from the beginning was to kill off the righteous. Elder Lawyer, now let's get Ezekiel 7 and 19. Only a few more and we can wrap it up. Ezekiel 7 and 19.
Ezekiel 7, verse number 19. They shall cast their silver in the streets.
The Bible told us this would happen, that they would cast their silver in the streets, read.
And their gold shall be removed.
And their gold shall be removed.
Their silver and their gold shall not be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of the Lord.
Whoa, look at that. And it's deep because it tell you when Christ returns, and I'm going into that the last week, the kingdom of heaven in the academy, week 12, where they're going to find all the gold and silver, because the majority of the gold and silver they made idols from came from our temples when they raided Solomon's temple. The Gentiles are going to find and going to melt all that stuff down that they made idols and present it back to the people of God when Christ returns. Now what? Let's go to Ezekiel, the 14th chapter.
Ezekiel chapter 14, verse number 1.
Read.
Then came certain of the elders of Israel unto me and sat before me, and the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their heart.
These men have set up their idols in their heart. So when you start to believe the delusions, guess what? It's no longer about the physical idol, because now they have control up here. Now the superstition is instilled as a tradition. They don't need a physical representation no more, because you're acting out the fact that you believe in the superstition. That you now believe and fear the gods that come with what? The tenets and practices of your particular religion. Now it's up here in your minds. See, and this is why if I'm a Muslim, there's no pushback. My people in the ghetto, in the hood, other races, they can totally accept me as a Muslim. If I'm a born again Christian, pagan Christian, this is why I can be accepted by everyone and everyone is saying, well, there's no problem. Because the idol is still in my mind and the people around me understand clearly how they can control me. They have set up the religion as a form of control. This is why if I'm dealing with New Age or Eastern religions, there's no fear, but say that you're an Israelite. Say that you renounce and you denounce every God outside of the God of Israel and become public enemy number one. Because there's no way they can look at it and see how to control you. See, they know you've broken the program. The idol is no longer in your mind or hearts because it's the idol they were able to control. Physically first, but then psychologically, once it was branded in our minds. We can be controlled just like them idols that fail. Now it's in our minds, they can say certain triggers and all that, and you will walk just like one of those idols was pushed away, and you will walk into a clinic and say, kill me. Here you go. Kill me. Just like one of those dumb idols. Because now it's up here. You can be controlled just like a piece of wood. It's in your hearts now. It's in your mind. You become the dumb idol now. What? Come on.
Son of man, these men have set up their idols in their hearts and put the stumbling block of their iniquity before their face.
Before their face. Come on.
Should I be inquired of at all by them? Therefore speak unto them and say unto them, thus saith the Lord God, every man of the house of Israel that setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to the prophet, I the Lord will answer him that cometh according to the multitude of his idols, that I may take the house of Israel in their own heart, because they are all estranged from me through their idols.
So what have separated us from our God? The beliefs and idolatry that comes through Gentile heathenistic religions. Yo, Christian Church, Baptist, Seventh-day Adventists, Holy Rollers, Jehovah's Witnesses, Mormons, Church of Latter-day Saints, name it, these are all idols in the hearts of God's people. Presbyterian, Lutheran, Catholic. Read.
Therefore say unto the house of Israel, thus saith the Lord, repent and turn yourselves from your idols.
This is what the Most High is requiring for those who look to serve the living God who's coming, the judge who will soon return. Repent and do what?
And turn yourselves from your idols.
Turn yourselves from your idols, including the idol you made of yourself. Read.
And turn away your faces from all your abominations.
And turn away our faces from all the abominations. Come on.
For every one of the house of Israel, or of the stranger that sojourneth in Israel, which separateth himself from me, and setteth up his idols in his heart, and putteth the stumbling block of his iniquity before his face, and cometh to a prophet to inquire of him concerning me, I the Lord will answer him by myself. And I will set my face against that man. And
I will set my face against that man who worship in these false religions that can't save. One thing that's not lacking in our communities are religion. So when are we going to put two and two together? Could it be the destruction of our communities are because of the religions? Could that be? Come on.
And I will set my face against that man, and will make him a sign and a proverb, and I will cut him off from the midst of my people, and ye shall know that I am the Lord.
And we shall know it's the Most High who have done that. A few more. New Testament. 1 Corinthians 10 and 7. Because some people you don't even understand. When it comes to that 10 commandments, the first commandment is we should love the Lord our God, the God of Israel, and have no other God before him. He made it clear not to worship any God, wood or stone, whether it be in the earth or on the earth we see or under the sea beneath. He made it clear, knowing that the so-called fallen ones would intervene and steer mankind away to worship them, opposed to worshiping the living God. See? He made it clear. So even Christ doubled down on the 10 commandments. And the first commandment is you have to watch these gods, because eventually they'll come in your hearts and you'll become the idol. And that's the spirit of total selfishness and no care for the future of our people. For the future, as far as the kingdom is concerned, that was prophesied by our God. No longer will it be about that for you anymore. So your community can go to hell, your people can totally be destroyed, and guess what? Because you okay, it's all right. That's an idol. That's an idolatrous way of thinking. Let's go to 1 Corinthians 10 and 7. Let's go.
Yes, sir. 1 Corinthians 10, verse 7. Neither be ye idolaters as some of them.
As some of them.
As it is written, the people sat down to eat and drink and rose up to play. Neither let us commit fornication as some of them committed, and fell in one day 3,000 or 23,000.
Come on.
Neither let us tempt Christ as some of them also tempted and were destroyed of serpents.
In the wilderness. Come on.
Neither murmur ye as some of them also murmured and were destroyed of the destroyer.
Look at that. Come on.
Now all of these things happened unto them for ensamples, and they are written for our admonition.
They are written for our correction, not admonition. Go down all the way to the 14th. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. Upon whom the ends of the world are come. Wherefore let him that thinketh he standeth take heed lest he fall. There hath no temptation taken you, but such as is common to man. But God is faithful, who will not suffer you to be tempted above your able, but with that temptation also maketh a way to escape, that ye may be able to bear it.
So the Most High is not going to put more on us or you than you can bear. So what he's asking of us is reasonable. So we can't say, well, because I've been through this, I can't achieve perfection, the perfection in Christ. Because this happened to me, I can't achieve that. He says, nothing happened to you that didn't happen to another person before. Here's your opportunity to start over and stop using your past as an excuse. See? These excuses are just protecting the demon, protecting the idol. And now someone have to bear this evil because what? Because it happened to you. Well, no, it doesn't work that way. Repent and become new so that now no one have to tolerate or bear your past. See? So this thing of accepting me the way I am because this is how I am, idolatry. Read.
Wherefore, my dearly beloved, flee from idolatry.
Flee from idolatry. Including, once it's in our hearts, the idols we make of ourselves. Let's go to 1 John 5 and 21.
First John 5 and 21. Little children, keep yourselves from idols.
Even in the New Testament. So I don't know, what's going on in the Catholic Church? They have the New Testament. what's going on in Islam where people are marching around this rock, which is really a rock that came down that they claim is part of Semiramis. They claim it was some type of meteorite that held the Queen Mother of Heaven, Semiramis. The goddess Alat, a female deity. The Kaaba stone is a female deity. See? So what are they reading? No wonder Muslims look at us and say, oh, the Bible's tampered with. Don't read the Bible. Because now I read the Bible, I have to ask, what is this thing you're marching around? You're an idolater. And if you are an idolater, how can I respect anything you're bringing forth when you're breaking the first commandment given to our people, to the people of Israel, by our God, to not have any God before us and not to bow down and worship it. So how can I receive anything from you when you're breaking the first commandment? No, thank you. No, thank you. Well, Islam, it's not a religion. It's a way of life. And you know what? It's your way of life. Stay away from me with it. Straight out. It's Satan's way of life. Because the first commandment happens concerning the place you point to worship and pray to 5 times a day. It's a rock. Read it again.
Little children, keep yourselves from idols.
Keep yourselves from idols. Read.
Amen.
Amen. So it's even in the New Testament where we're constantly reminded about the ill effects of idolatry. We're forewarned over and over, Old Testament, New Testament. Idolatry leads to slavery, captivity. New Testament, Colossians 3 and 5, read it. Sammy Jones, when you're talking about the Aboriginal Americans, don't get thrown off with that. These are people like that Dane Calloway or whoever. He need to get in class. Okay? He need to learn the Bible. Because some of the black images he's looking at was here even before the black Aborigines got here. Before the Gadites got to America, those big stones of noses and all that were here because they were originally a part of Eden before the flood. And the Most High, what did he do? He broke that temple. And the God of angels, the city of angels, was moved westward to what we call America today, which was at one point by the Greeks named Atlantis. So those black images of big noses and all that have nothing to do with blacks being here first. It had everything to do with the temples that were erected by the gods before the flood. So Dane Calloway and all these other guys, they need to get in class. Okay. Now, Colossians 3 and 5. Let's read it. He need to join the academy.
Colossians 3 verse 5.
So, see, what happens is these guys find a little lane. This is what the conscious community does. They find this little lane, and that makes it their personal shtick to actually, they have to. I astral project, and another guy, I got a school for boys. Another guy, everyone have their little shtick. Dane's Calloway's shtick is we were always here, black Aborigines. What did that have to do with the price of tea in China? And how did that have to do anything with how we save our people through what's going on right now? So don't get caught up in that crap because he don't even understand the history of the artifacts he's going into as far as the time periods of it. Okay? Let's go. Let's read it.
Colossians 3 verse 5.
Yeah.
Mortify therefore your members which are upon the earth.
Mortify thine members which are upon the earth. Read.
Fornication, uncleanness.
Fornication, uncleanliness.
Inordinate affection.
Inordinate affection, which is someone wanting the same sex. Read.
evil concupiscence,
evil concupiscence, read,
and covetousness,
covetousness, always desiring what belongs to someone else, read,
which is idolatry.
which is what?
Which is idolatry.
Which is idolatry. Which is idolatry. I'm going to give you an example. Most people will ask, well, what's up with the thug life and how people are looking with the thugs with the gold in their mouths as brothers, and they got the pants hanging down and all that. And guess what? A dark priest by the name of Russell Simmons ended up breaking it down where the whole thug thing came from that was introduced through hip hop. He says, I need you to now take a walk through my house. Now, he's a known Brahmist and Buddhist. It was this old statue that he was able to purchase from Asia of an old guy that was dressed like a thug, a total image of an idol, thousands of years old, with baggy pants on, the chains, the teeth, and all that. So he got that information from the gods and made it part of our culture through media, so that we can make ourselves in our community into that dirty demon. Russell Simmons told people, yeah, that I introduced the thug thing. And then he took people through this place where he had candles and all that in his house, and it showed this little thug ugly creature with gold teeth, baggy pants, and it was an ancient statue, an idol that they made real, that our people began to mimic in the hood. Before that, we were known as distinguished. You seen how Martin Luther King was dressed, how Malcolm was dressed. We were distinguished. Man, when we put on a suit and when that suit hit, man, couldn't know people compared to how James Bond, are you kidding me? We used to put on those suits and, man, listen, they couldn't touch us. And Esau was like, you know what? We have to break that distinguished exterior that's being shown. Because no one would back us destroying a people who look so clean, who are so distinguished. We must change their image. Let's destroy their image. So they got Russell Simmons to introduce the thug demon. Put a camera in front of it, girls out there dancing in front of it, and then it became fad, not realizing it was to destroy the image of Israel in our communities. So what all comes with it again? Colossians 3 and 5. Look it up. Go to YouTube, Russell Simmons thug statue. Y'all getting a little tinge of how we do it up in the academy a little bit. Don't worry about it, because wait till you see what's happening tomorrow. But I had to deal with that, with highlighting the prophetic impact, showing the Bible has always been true, that they'll be throwing their idols in the street. Right? And then on the other hand, we're looking at the idolatry of, why do you think they put out, I had to go to the men, now I go to the women now. Right? Why do you think they made the Kardashians idols? It was one time we could appreciate a girl or a sister that had naturally long eyelashes, because that distinguished her from other women. Some women would have nice, naturally arched eyebrows, and they didn't have to do anything. They were just like that. This is the uniqueness that was within the diversity and uniqueness that made our people beautiful, because every individual had that unique quality that others didn't have. See? This is what made us special. But if they can make a prototype, it takes away the uniqueness that men find attractive beyond youth. Beyond the youth. Because one day we all grow old. Listen to this. So if every woman is running around with eyelashes, how do we know someone who's blessed with naturally long eyelashes? If everyone is looking like the prototypical idol, then where's the unique gifts that the Most High have blessed our sisters with naturally? Idolatry. Let's go to Isaiah 45 and 20.
Isaiah 45, verse 20.
Read.
Assemble yourselves and come.
Assemble yourselves and come.
Draw near together,
Draw near together,
ye that are escaped of the nations.
ye that are escaped of the nations. Read.
They have no knowledge that set up wood of their graven image.
They have no knowledge who set up wood of their graven image. These people don't have no knowledge. Their knowledge really comes down to them unifying and how to hustle us and take stuff out of our community. That's really their whole, that's their end game. With everything they plan on, okay, what else can I suck from the children of Israel in their communities? Read.
And pray unto a God that cannot save.
And they prayed to a God that could not save. And so they're pushing their idols into the waters, into the streets. Prophecy. 1 Corinthians 8, 5, and 6. And then we'll end it with Christ. 1 Corinthians 8, 5, and 6.
First Corinthians chapter 8, verse 5.
Read.
For though there be that are called gods,
Though there be that are called gods,
whether in heaven or in earth,
whether in heaven or in earth, to let you know it's speaking of angels. Read.
as there be gods many,
As there be gods many, including the fallen one Lucifer, who will soon be dragged to hell and bound with those who uphold him. Read.
as there be gods many and lords many, but to us there is but one God,
But to us, there's but what?
one God,
One God.
the Father of whom are all things,
The Father of whom are all things. And you notice, even after Christ, all power goes back when it comes to prayer to the Father. Christ is the way to the Father. The Christian church tried to deal with their pagan deity components and evil by moving the Most High on the level to Christ and saying that Christ is God to confuse the masses. Christ is the Son of God, period. He was sent by God, period. And once he has judged the earth, he's going to entrust and turn back everything back to the Father, who gave him the power to take the earth. It tell you that in 1 Corinthians 15 and 26, down to 28. Where are you, Elder Lawyer?
verse 6.
Read it.
But to us there is but one God, the Father, of whom are all things, and we in him, and one Lord, Yeshua the Anointed,
One Lord, that means he's king set up by Ahiah. Read.
by whom are all things, and we by him.
And we by him, because Christ created all the spirits that we see in the earth today, the first begotten of all creatures. So that's all we're focusing on. We don't deal with the God of the East Indians, the God of the Arabs, the God of the Romans, because we know those gods cannot even save them through this campaign that they call coronavirus. Okay. Last scripture. Matthew 22 and 37.
St. Matthew chapter 22, verse 37. Yeshua said unto them, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart.
You notice that he's repeating the law given to Moses. How do you love the Lord with all thy heart and soul? Read.
All thy heart and with all thy soul and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment.
This is the first and great commandment. So if Christ is quoting the first or the greatest commandment sent by his Father for him to quote verbatim, we must now go to where Christ read that at. He's prophesying during a time in which the New Testament isn't compiled yet. So what is Christ teaching here in Matthew 22 and 37, one might ask? Let's go to Exodus 20 and 1. Yes?
Exodus chapter 20, verse 1.
Come on.
And God spake all these words, saying, I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt.
I'm the Lord thy God who have brought the children of Israel out of the land of Egypt. And folks, he's going to do it for us again. After this next war, after the smoke clear, that's right, Jacob will rise. Okay, after the war, it's our time. Read.
Out of the house of bondage.
Read it.
Thou shalt have no other gods before me.
Here is where Christ was quoting from. Thou shalt have no other God before me. Read.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image.
Or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
Because this was taught as a form of control over the populations of the earth to separate mankind from the God of Israel. Read.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them.
Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them. When it says serve them, practice their religions through tradition. You must let go, break away from everything that's been taught in these Christian churches and in these mosques. Read.
For I, the Lord thy God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me.
Because if you break this law by following lesser gods through idolatry, a generational curse is set upon our children. Repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We must now free ourselves to serve the living God by walking away from what? You got it. The heathenistic religions in the earth that has always pushed idolatry. With that, I'm going to say shalom. We're going to prepare. I got to go set up so that we can get ready for tomorrow, the Hebrew and Bible Academy, week 4. The split between Israel and Judah. I'll start off with Jacob's birth and our time in Egypt and go all the way into the split of Israel, how we would eventually meet our brothers here in captivity and be freed together by Christ. That's right. The split between Israel and Judah tomorrow. We thank you. If you would like to join the academy, don't worry about it. Go to historytimes.org. We're still taking enrollments. We'll just give you the 4 lessons you've missed. We still have 2 full months of serious information. Okay? Including portals. We're going to have a lesson breaking down the gateways, the portals of the earth. The portals, the gateways between heaven and earth. That's one lesson. The kingdom of heaven. What does that look like? That's going to be part of the lesson. And we have another lesson that we're going to throw in there. Can marriage survive? What is marriage? And in a nutshell, marriage isn't Disney. Okay? Marriage isn't getting with someone based on sexual attraction or based on, whether or not finances and all these things. Nah. Marriage was always about legacy. It was a sacrifice of our personal needs for the embetterment of our children. And I'm going to be going into all that, how Satan have looked to break that, especially when it comes to how we're presented as a people to the world, so that we can think we're less than looking at these other races of people getting it right. When really, you can only do that through sacrifice. That means going through the bad times to keep the legacy going for the sake of the generations to come. I'm going to be going into that in the academy. And it's not about blaming either side. It's about doing what? Repenting for our past deeds, our past evils, and getting back on code with the Almighty and his book. With that, historytimes.org. Save Me is uploaded on royaltymusicbyshepherd.com. So is TikTok, royaltymusicbyshepherd.com. Go there. You can actually download those, which are preludes to the album to come, Music with a Purpose 2. Don't forget to support all the brothers and sisters on the GOCC network by going to gatheringofchrist.org and see all the products and all that we have presented there for the brothers and sisters. It's time for us to support each other. You go to GOCC network, there's brothers and sisters that have products that can help our people. It's right there. And if you want to become a part of that, send us an email at gatheringas1@aol.com, the number 1, and we can get you up on, if you have products, we can get you there where you can support our brothers and sisters, and we'll support you. With that, a nation divided against itself cannot stand. We're the children of Israel, the Gathered of Christ Church, and we're back to do what? To mend the breach, to bring us back to what? Kingdom people. No more idolatry. With that, I'm going to say shalom. May the Most High be with you. Stay prayed up, sin not. That concludes our Sabbath lesson. And brothers and sisters, get ready for the academy. Bye-bye.
Shalom. Yes, sir.
Shalom. Oh, yeah. Yeah. The Indians are, I'll pray for them. Bless you. Shalom. To Zion. I was lost, but now I'm found. I'm a child of Israel. I heard the sound. Please give me the strength to stand today. With my eyes towards the east, show me